Hi guys, it's another fantastic Monday afternoon and also a great time to bring you the sports. Now we start with the CAF elections, and CAF has ruled out that just two of the five candidates for March's presidential elections are eligible so far, with President Ahmad not among them. The Malagasy has been declared ineligible given his 5-year ban, although his camp have slim hopes and an ongoing appeal to the Court of Arbitration of Sports could change this. Both former Ivory Coast Football Federation President Jacques Sanouma and current Senegal President Augustin Senghor have been authorized to contest the March elections in Morocco. Further checks are required before either Mauritania President Ahmad Yahya and Patrice Motsepe, the South African who owns Mamelodi Sundowns, can be added to the list of candidates. To join me on discussion will be Piers Edwards, BBC Sports Africa expert, will be coming in and giving us all the. Piers, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great as well. Now let's get it kicking in. And can you bring us up to speed with the latest on CAF President Ahmad Ahmad following his 5-year FIFA ban and chances of contesting for the elections?
In a lot of legalese, all relating to the decision by FIFA to ban him for 5 years in November for breaching various codes of FIFA's ethics. Now he's appealing that decision, and as he's appealing that decision, he is yet to go through entirely with the appeal. The appeal is yet to fully start in earnest. Which presents a problem for him, meaning that he wasn't approved by the Governance Commission of CAF last week, which means that his presence on the start line when the March elections take place is highly, highly debatable. But in the next 24 hours or so, his camp should find out a lot more about whether they have any chance of being able to overturn his appeal at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. If they do, of course, he may be able to stand, but time is not on his side. It's very unusual for CAS to make a ruling so early on before appeal can be properly heard and have a proper hearing. So a lot of things are going to go against him, and it will require a minor legal miracle for him to be able to make the March elections.
Fantastic. There appears now only two of the candidates for March's presidential elections are eligible so far. How competitive will this election be as compared with previous elections?
Well, many of the previous elections for the CAF presidency have only involved at best two men, and that's going back a few decades now, because Issa Hayatou, during his 29-year reign at CAF, was often elected unopposed. And then the people who, and obviously he had so much of the continent secured in his pocket that very few rivals ever came forward. So it's been a long, long time since we've seen more than two challenges for the elections at present. As said, we do have those two confirmed candidates, Senghor of Senegal and Anouma of Ivory Coast. Now, obviously, if we get one more, then we're suddenly into a proper contest in March. I think the expectation is that both Yaya and Motsepe will make it through. That it will be determined on the 28th of January in a meeting in Cairo by CAF's Governance Commission, who want to ask some more questions. And only after that will we find out who will be on the ballot list in March. And I imagine by the end of the month as well, we'll have a very clear idea of whether Ahmad has indeed been ruled out, as the Governance Commission of CAF did so last week. But I just must say on that point, there is no precedent in CAF history for such a scenario evolving, so it's very unclear how Ahmad would take his case forward if indeed he did manage to overturn his FIFA ban. Would he do it at CAF, or would he have to go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport again?
Right, fantastic. Now, finally, let me find out if there's going to be a new precedent. Is this with all the controversies that CAF has been through in the previous years, and coming down to now that Ahmad is off and there has to be an election? Do you think finally, if there's going to be a new president, there's going to be a new wave, there's going to be a new structure of CAF, is CAF going to be able to stand on its own without FIFA interfering again?
That is the million-dollar question. Who knows? It really remains to be seen which candidate will win the contest. As you can imagine, there are various candidates backed by various elements of current administrations. And whoever's going to make it through, as in those, let's say, perhaps favoured a bit more by the Ahmad camp, and then perhaps those who are perhaps a bit more favoured by, let's say, FIFA behind them, because a lot of Africa wants CAF to have good relations with FIFA. So it all depends on which candidates make the start line, and obviously which candidate makes it through. if it is a candidate who, let's say, FIFA weren't so keen on, it'll be very interesting to see what happens to the future of African football. There is a little bit of, well, a fair degree of enmity and irritation with the way in which FIFA have been so closely involved in CAF's dealings in recent times. And I know that there's a large proportion that want that to stop. Equally, there's an equally significant proportion that wants the status quo to go on and wants whoever rules CAF to have the backing of FIFA behind them. So it's a double-edged sword, and it will be absolutely fascinating to see who wins it in March and then how we go forward. But this CAF administration did not do a great precedent in allowing FIFA to come and run the organization with them for 6 months' time. And that was a stain for many people on the governance of African football. And it's something that they want to rule out in future. They want CAF to be run by Africans and Africans alone. And that's a sentiment that I think many will share.
Thank you very much, PS Edwards of the BBC Africa, as sharp and brilliant as always.
Thank you and have a good day.
You too. So guys, now let's move on to some local stories now. And then we have Hearts Coach Papic coach is worried by his side's lack of consistency after their draw at Elmina Sharks yesterday. The Phobians failed to build on their impressive 6-1 thrashing of Acheampong United last week as they were held to a 1-1 draw by 10-man Sharks.
It's 5 of my players who came today in a pitch completely not in a game. It's very difficult to win the match. They are still missing that killing instinct, missing that what I said is going to happen. I know what has happened, and I told you that is going to happen. One game we play fantastic, one day like this. When we consistently start to playing the football what we want, in that case it's possible to discuss properly.
Now let's move on to more stories in the Ghana Premier League as Elmina Sharks coach Acheampong is pleased with his side's performance against Hearts at the Ndum Park. Sharks took an early lead through the midfielder James Bisu before they had to equalize courtesy Victor Edu's strike.
It was a very good match. Both teams played very, very good until the red card. So we have to do something to sustain the play. Yeah, so that is what exactly we do. But generally, it was a very nice game. I think when the strike, the defenders start moving, I think the right half should have covered his line, but he didn't cover his line, and then I think the goalkeeper should have communicated with him too. It was a very cheap goal we considered.
Now let's look at more stories that happened in the Ghana Premier League during the weekend. And Legon Cities beat Wafa 1-0. Legon Cities have finally got a winner. And Mediama Sporting Club will also beat Diana Stars 2-1 in Takwa. Acheampong United and King Faisal was a 1-1 draw. Great Olympics versus Ashanti Gold was a loss to the Olympics team as Ashanti Gold beat them 2-1. 11 Wonders also won at home to Karela United 3-1. It was an Elmina Sharks and Hearts of Folk was a 1-1 draw. And in a few minutes, Asante Kotoko and Liberty Professionals will be going head-to-head at the Accra Sports Stadium. Now let's do some more stories, and we are going to the Ghanaian players abroad as Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says Thomas Partey is edging closer to making his long-awaited comeback from injury. The Ghana international was left out of the Ghana squad to face Newcastle in the FA Cup on Saturday, but could return against Crystal Palace in the Premier League this week.
The boxes that he ticked, and he was still a little bit short. Hopefully on Thursday we might have him available in the squad. Let's see how he trains the next couple of days. He's feeling really good at the moment. Yes, and we knew that was going to be the case, and when you make that many changes around the team as well, that cohesion sometimes is missing a little bit. I think we had more enough chances to put the game to bed much earlier, but when you don't do it in the opponent's box and the game is open, you know that you're going to leave a situation or two for them to score, and that's when in knockout stages you need your goalkeeper to save you, and Bern did in a crucial moment, and then when we took our chances, we won the game.
Now, Mesut Ozil has hinted that he could discuss his Arsenal future in a Q&A session tonight. But manager Mikel Arteta has said he will not be following as he does not have Twitter. Also, representatives are in talks with a number of clubs, including Fenerbahce and DC United, although the player's priority is to see out his Arsenal contract until the summer.
The last press conference that Edu and the club are having some conversations about the near future and the long-term future, and when we know something, we will announce it. I'm sorry, but I don't have Twitter. I don't follow Twitter. He's done it in the past. It's something that he tried to do to engage with his fans and keep everybody informed, so I'm not surprised.
Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer downplayed the importance of United's shot at going at top against Burnley. United have won 8 of their past 10 Premier League games and are only behind Liverpool on goal difference.
Our fans are excited and that they're happy where we are at, and that we have this little sense of excitement. But then we're not even halfway through the season, so of course every game against Burnley or every game against Liverpool matters a lot anyway. So all my eyes are on Tuesday, and then let's see where we're at after that one. No one will remember how the league table looked like on the 12th of January in 2021.
Now, also looking at other stories in the Premier League, Spurs versus Aston Villa has been postponed because of the number of COVID-19 cases Villa has been having. So now Spurs will be playing against Fulham in the London Derby. Now, to more some international football stories, and the oldest scorer in the Japanese football, Kanyoyoshi Miura, will still be playing age 54 after extending his contract with Yokohama FC for another season. Miura turns 54 on February 26th, the day before 2021 J-League campaign begins. The former Japan striker joined Yokohama in 2005 and will play his 17th season for the club. He scored 55 goals in 89 games for Japan and has played for Serie A side Genoa before stints in Croatia and Australia. And also, we'll be looking at results from the weekend that came up, and we start with the FA Cup as Aston Villa lost at home to Liverpool 4-1. Everton also beat Rotherham 2-1. Blackpool versus West Brom was a 2-2 as Blackpool win 3-2 on penalties. Arsenal beat Newcastle 2-0 as Manchester United beat Watford 1-0. Now, Chelsea versus Morecambe was 4-0 in favor of Chelsea. Manchester City versus Birmingham City was 3-0 in favor of Manchester City. And Marine lost at home to Tottenham Hotspur 5-0. Now we switch on to La Liga as Celta Vigo lost to Villarreal 4-0. Sevilla also beat Real Sociedad 3-2. Atletico Madrid versus Atletico Bilbao was postponed, and Granada lost at home to Barcelona 4-0. Let's do some Serie A here now. Benevento also lost at home to Atalanta 4-1. AC Milan versus Torino 2-0. AS Roma Inter Milan was 2-2 draw. Hellas Verona Crotone was 2-1 win in favor of Hellas. Udinese lost at home to Napoli 2-1. Fiorentina also won at home against Cagliari 1-0. Juventus thrashed Sassuolo 3-1. Spezia and Sampdoria will be played tonight. And let's do some Bundesliga, and Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Bayern Munich is 3-2 in favor of Mönchengladbach. Bayer Leverkusen and Werder Bremen was a 1-1 draw. Freiburg and Cologne was 5-0 in favor of Freiburg. Schalke 04 beat Hoffenheim 4-0. Leipzig lost at home to Dortmund 3-1. Augsburg also lost at home to Stuttgart 4-1. Arminia Bielefeld went to Berlin and beat them 1-0. Let's do some Ligue 1 also, and Bordeaux versus Lorient was 2-1 in favor of Bordeaux, my beg your pardon. Lens and Strasbourg was a win for Strasbourg. AS Monaco beat Angers 3-0. Montpellier and Nantes was a 1-1 draw. PSG versus Brest 3-0 in favor of the Parisians. Rennes versus Saint-Etienne was 3-1 win in favor of Rennes. And finally, Rennes and Lyon was a 2-2 draw. Let's do some NBA now, and LA Lakers continue their unbeaten run through the road with uncomfortable victory over the Houston Rockets. Anthony Davis made 27 points on his return from injury to help the Lakers to a 120-102 victory. And some more NBA stories to finish this up. And Kawhi Leonard surpassed 10,000 career points as the Los Angeles Clippers beat the Chicago Bulls. Leonard scored 21 points in the third quarter as the Clippers rallied to a win 130-107. And that's where we bring it all to a close. And that's it for MX Breaks on Sports. I am Selwyn Saki. Keep watching MX24.